Stephen A. Smith made some so-called unapologetic comments when he was talking to Sean Hannity when he was on Fox News. You know, he went on there and he talked about Trump and he talked about the Democratic Party, and he said that he wasn't for Trump being president, but he actually went after the Democratic Party. And a lot of people in the black community took umbrage when he said that Trump can relate, what Trump is going through in the court system is similar to what black people go through. And the black community is outraged. And one of them is former Pittsburgh Steelers safety Ryan Clark. He literally mopped the floor with Stephen A. Smith with the comments that Stephen A. Smith said. Now, Stephen A. Smith is starting to backtrack, but I'm saying if you was willing to make those comments, you should stand on what you said. Now, let's revisit some of the comments that he actually said when he was having a conversation with Sean Hannity. Check this out.
He wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures.
And as you can see what Stephen A. Smith said. The problem that we have in here is you're comparing former President Donald Trump's plight to the black community's plight. And you just can't do that. It doesn't work that way. He's never had to be black in America ever. He's never had to go through the things that we go through. So because of those comments, it prompts him now to have to come on TV before the world and say this.
Clear. My words were misconstrued. I'm stating right here for the record that my words were taken out of context, misrepresenting and depicting me in a way I found every bit as insulting and disrespectful as folks in black America evidently felt about what they thought I said. But I'll own it anyway. Because, you know, please know that I know the buck stops with me. I'm in the communication business. I've been here for 30 years, so regardless of whatever interpretation that accompanies any words coming out of my mouth, the responsibility ultimately lies with me first and foremost before anybody else. I've always felt that way. I still do. I always will. Period.
So that was sort of Stephen A. Smith's apology. But when you make these, as long as he's been on TV, he knows better. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was saying some salacious stuff to bring the attention over to the Stephen A. Smith show, to his channel. That's exactly what he was doing. Because he went and made those statements on Sean Hannity. Then he went over to his channel and started running his mouth, right? But he knows that in our communities and in America, controversy sells. So he went and he used our community as the sacrificial lamb to bring attention over to him, because a lot of these people are attention whores. But Ryan Clark took umbrage with this, and he literally mopped the floor with Stephen A. Smith's comments. And he put some intelligent conversation behind in front of what should have been said in the first place. And there is no comparison. But let's listen to what Ryan Clark actually had to say, and then we'll come right back.
I respect Stephen A. and the platform that he's built, but I respectfully disagree with him here. First off, let's talk about the simple statement that black people can relate to former President Donald Trump based on discrimination by the judicial system. He's not being discriminated against. Nope. What Donald Trump did was make bad decisions, and because of those bad decisions, he's now been investigated, he's now been accused, alleged, and then now prosecuted. The one thing that black people can't relate to is having these run-ins with the law and being the president of the United States of America. We couldn't be the president of the 4-H club if we had this many run-ins with the law. We couldn't be the president of our own HOA. And so I think that's one thing that we need to get out and be very clear on. Also, when you agree with this, you're allowing him to break us down to the lowest common denominator. So you're saying all of these black people who now seem to support you only support you because they connect with you on your run-ins with the law, or only support with you because they connect with you on sneakers. So why can't we connect on diversity, equity, and inclusion? Why can't we connect on better medical care? Why can't we connect on focusing on the mortality rate of black mothers? Why can't we connect on better schooling in the minority communities? So you mean to tell me you think so low of us that we can only connect with you because you've been indicted?
So again, when you listen to Ryan Clark talk, basically what Stephen A. Smith is saying, he can connect, he can identify, understand with us with the lower aspect of our culture. With what he's going through in the courtrooms, not our accomplishments, not our achievements here in America. No, it seems like nobody ever identifies with the black community when it comes to that. All the things that we invented in this country, how a lot of our inventions moved to the 21st century. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. He identifies with us through trauma, tragedy. Like, this stuff is a joke. And these are the people that actually they put on TV to speak for the black community. And common sense, like, this stuff is crazy. But let's listen to the second half of what actually Ryan Clark had to say in regards to this matter. We'll come right back.
We can only connect with you because you made ugly gold tennis shoes. And I think that's so insulting to even allege that that could be true. And let's really be clear. Nothing about Donald Trump's existence is black. Donald Trump can't speak to the black existence. He can't speak to the historical prejudice and discrimination that black people have faced. Donald Trump has never had to get that talk from his mom. This is the way you deal with authority. This is the way you have to be outside the house. Donald Trump's parents never had to worry about will he or will he not make it home based on the color of his skin. See, the only discrimination we understand, the only run-ins with the criminal justice system that we get is that sometimes you are prosecuted, sometimes you are pulled over, sometimes you are searched based on being black. That's not something we can control. That's not something we were in charge of. That's who we are. Donald Trump has been investigated and indicted and on trial for who he is for making bad decisions. And let's be very clear about one more thing. Donald Trump hasn't been black. He will never be black. He doesn't understand what it's like to walk in the black man's shoes. And if he ever did, he'd realize that those shoes are too big and way too uncomfortable for him to wear for a day. And so I think as the support seems to grow for him in certain black communities, we have to be smart about why that support is growing. And we can't attribute with our acknowledgments or with our agreements that the lowest common denominator of us is that we all relate and have an affinity for those who break the law, because that's an untruth.
Let me say this, because Ryan Clark is 1,000% right. You know, Donald Trump broke the law. He did something wrong, and he's being brought up in court for it. We're not supporting. This thing is crazy because you have people that support Trump. You have people that support Joe Biden. To me, all of it is garbage. You can throw it all in the trash. Joe Biden is somebody that I don't believe that the black community should support. He hasn't done anything to garner the black vote to me. He has a track record. Let's deal with Joe Biden first. Joe Biden is a person that was best friends with Strom Thurmond. He did Strom Thurmond's eulogy. How could you be best friends with a known, well-known, historical white supremacist and get to be the president of the United States? Show me where that happens at. You have people that in black communities that have felonies and that stay with them for a lifetime. They can't get jobs. But you can be best friends in this country with a well-known white supremacist, do his eulogy, come on TV and say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. You can be that person, right? Then you can be Donald Trump. You can have a history of racism in your past as well and be the president. So no, as black people, we can't relate. This guy has been rich all his life. He doesn't know what it's like to be black. He's never had to be black. Our experiences too, totally different experiences, man. So if you like Donald Trump, that's one thing. But to compare his plight when he broke the law to our plight where our skin was our sin. Our skin, just being black, was our sin. Our people historically in this country fought just to maintain your identity. we had to fight for here. We have a whole history of inventions and things that we've done that's been totally erased from a society to the point where people have preconceived notions of us based off of the way we've been presented to society. We don't even carry our names. We don't even speak our native language. All of that's been stripped of us. And you mean to tell me he can identify with us? Miss me with that. No, he can't. He can't. He's never had to be us. And that's not saying that I'm a victim. That's telling history that, no, matter of fact, if you want to say I've been a victim of what history has done to my people here in America. Right? Here in America. And I have every right to speak to that. When you have idiots and buffoons coming on before the world comparing our plight to a rich man that broke the law. A rich man that actually broke the law. No, it doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense. And somebody had to say something. And I'm glad that Ryan Clark had the balls to stand up and say something. The only thing I would tell Ryan Clark, the same smoke that you got for Trump, you better have the same smoke for the president now. Because he ain't no better. Black people, what we need to do is come together like the Jews do. If you don't meet our agenda, you are enemy, period. We have a unified thought and agenda. If you don't meet our agenda, then you're making us uncomfortable here in America. We have every right to say we feel uncomfortable, that you guys are not going out of your way to make sure we're okay as a people. The same way the Jews are saying this now with the Palestine and Israel war and their with the protests that's going on across America. The Jews say that they feel in danger. Well, as black people in America, we should always feel in danger with the way that we've been portrayed in society all the time. So it just is what it is. Don't compare any group to us. We are unique people here in America's FBA. We are unique people. Nobody else is like us because nobody else been through what we've been through as a people. But I'm going to cut this video short here, man. Leave your comments in the comment section. If you made it that far, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.